true success is about defining yourself without confining yourself. So if I leave you with one thing today, it's this. Sometimes you've got to be bold enough and brave enough to burn the script.
It's now my privilege and honor to introduce our speaker, Mr. Hayes Barnard. Hayes is an American entrepreneur, business owner, and philanthropist. He's the founder, chairman, and CEO of GoodLeap, the largest financial technology company in the U.S. focused on sustainability. He's also the founder, chairman, and CEO of GivePower, an award-winning nonprofit providing clean electricity and safe drinking water to more than 2 million people across 28 countries. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Hayes Barnard to the Hilltop.
Well, thank you, Will. I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind introduction. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. And all right, don't worry. I'm going to keep it short for you because I know the only thing worse than a long speech around here is a short summer. And more good news, my wife pulled me aside and she said, look, now here's the deal. You are only allowed to speak until the first graduate checks their phone. So as the graduates know, the Salisbury motto, esse quam videri, which in Latin is to be rather than to seem. Now that's a powerful statement. To be rather than to seem to be. To me, it basically means it's more important to live your values, to be truly authentic, than to just appear that way. Sometimes creation is more important than presentation, to reveal your true soul versus put on a show for the crowds. I think we all appreciate less phony performances and more substantive principles. Well, I've taken this message to heart and I've made the decision to deliver this message a little bit differently. You Salisbury men, you're at an important stage in your life. You're going to get a lot of advice from people here and beyond, people that will guide you based on their experiences. Yes, me included. People that love you and people that want you to succeed. Now, embedded into their wisdom will be these scripts passed forward on what to do and what not to do, advice on the wrong and the right. And you should listen to all of it because other people's scripts can be extremely helpful. But scripts, advice, wisdom can also be extremely confining. And true success is about defining yourself without confining yourself. So if I leave you with one thing today, it's this. Sometimes you've got to be bold enough and brave enough to burn the script. Burn the script moments are ones that will inform you it's time to blaze your own trail rather than blindly adhere to a more traveled path. It's what your English teachers taught you about Robert Frost and the road not taken. I've met a lot of people my age. They're very successful in going into private equity, but they started in 1985. Do you really think what was the right decision in 1985 is the absolute best path for you in 2025? So be cautious when people say their path is already laid out for them, because they're likely limiting their upside in a really big way. In other words, if you're not careful, you're going to wake up one day only to realize you've been following another man's dreams. Or even worse, achieve the dreams of an older version of you that's already died inside. I've had many burn the script moments in my life. I can trace the earliest ones back to leaving my small apartment in Creve Coeur, Missouri. At the time, my mom was holding down 3 jobs to support us. She was a single mom, raising an only child, who taught me the importance of hard work, honesty, and integrity. Well, I was in the 8th grade, and my Uncle Bill had done pretty well for himself, and he called with an interesting offer. He asked, hey, you want to go to summer camp on my dime? Let's just say kids from my neighborhood, they didn't go to summer camp. My summer routine was always spending time with my grandmother, Grandma Lean, and my grandfather, Coach. But this summer was different. This summer, unfortunately, Coach was on hospice, dying from lung cancer. So I stood at Coach's bedside. I gave him that last goodbye hug I'll never forget with tears streaming from my eyes. And I anxiously decided to take my Uncle Bill up on going to Camp Keewaydin. Now, ironically, Camp Keewaydin was in Salisbury, Vermont. And when I arrived at this prestigious camp, I was immediately blown away at what I saw. An all-boys institution, founded in 1893, and it was like stepping into another world. You guys get it, East Coast, old school. One of my roommates had this beautiful sword from his military boarding school, and I thought, wow, they give out swords to 8th graders in military school. Almost every boy at this camp was attending or headed to a prestigious boarding school. They were the most sophisticated, well-mannered, kind, driven, competitive, and capable men I had ever met in my entire life. I was so motivated and so intimidated. The first week, I tossed and turned awake all night, overwhelmed by these guys. I spent all summer there, over 8 weeks, and they outrode me, they outran me, they outhiked me 9 days straight in the White Mountains. They outboxed me, they outthought me. I mean, it was infuriating. They knew all the traditional songs at all the right times. They followed all the rituals they had learned at the camp the previous years. And my group was spending their last and final summer there together with all the tradition and all the heritage. All I could think was someday, somehow, I want to send my son to Camp Keewaydin. I want him to be in a position to be in proximity of this extraordinary opportunity. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but as I moved on in my career, I had an opportunity to work with some of the finest professionals, incredible founders, CEOs, and senior executives throughout the world. And I came to find out many of them had attended an exceptional boarding school. The pedigrees of highly educated men on a mission to leave their mark on the world. Well, with the power of proximity again, I had a dream. For a son to someday attend a great boarding school with the caliber of men that I stand here before today. Early in my son's life, he was referred to as Luke the Bizzle. Bizzle for short, Lukey by his mama. I currently call him Snacks. Most of you guys know why. I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of his buddies, Johnny Business, Tiger Ding, the leader of Salisbury Air Force, Georgie Georgetown, George Haynes, Carl Karst, Chuck Mitchell, Judd Phillips, Luke Black. I mean, these are great guys. I've done a little wake surfing on Lake Tahoe with some of the alum, Oliver Pereira, Cooper Groney, Thayer Catcher. And I had a great time hanging out with Riggs. I ran Riggs Taylor at our Tiburon home. Now, while I've only gotten to know a few of you personally, it's clear the graduating class that they represent is exceptional. And the world needs strong men of authentic moral character and courageous honor now more than ever. When I dropped Luke off here 4 years ago, I cried. I mean, I couldn't keep it together. I never had a father growing up, and now I'm letting my son go at 15 years old. But I knew he was in good hands from the very first day when I listened to Bobby Wynn speak to the students with such passion and unwavering commitment to this school. I had dinner with my son last night, and I asked him, which one of these guys are you going to miss the most? He said, Mr. Wynn. I said, really? He said, Bobby Wynn is the best man I've ever met in my life. My son's met some pretty extraordinary men in his life. Then I had the privilege of meeting two of Luke's English teachers, Miss Metcalf and Mr. Reese, and I quickly recognized the stellar education my son was receiving. Then again, Bobby Wynn passed on the head of school baton to Will Webb with such grace, and I vividly remember when Will stood up and addressed everyone just after his father passed away. And he said vulnerably, growth happens here, inspiration happens here, healing happens here, awakening happens here, and more importantly, love happens here. While you're here, tune out the irrelevant noise and chatter and tune in your heart and your soul. I just want to acknowledge out loud that this faculty inspires me. So here we are. I'm up here in front of you with my family terrified I'm going to say something stupid to embarrass them. Pushing myself to a place of new growth, a little bit of healthy anxiety, a little bit of self-doubt, that spiked nervousness, and some burn the script butterflies in my belly. There's a high level of respect, a feeling you've motivated inside of me to deliver a message in honor of your hard work and commitments to each other. So here we stand on May 23rd, 2025, the day you and my son, Luke Barnard, graduate from Salisbury School. So what do I say to you today that might actually make a difference in your life? Well, after some consideration, maybe it's how to recognize those burn the script moments to live a fulfilling life. Because if you get it right, they become so obvious you cannot ever have imagined making another choice. Often it's when the path becomes a little less clear, but your soul is inspired by an idea. Or maybe it's the moment you start to see a problem that you just can't ignore anymore. Or Or you question whether you should play it safe when you realize there's still too much suffering and not enough being done about it. For me, the aha moment became believing in a better way to power our planet while reducing pollution through my companies GoodLeap and Goodfinch. Or again, lying in the dirt in Mali, Africa, with my executive team frustrated by watching people drink poison every day, while women spent most of their days filling their water buckets versus filling their brains in the classroom. So I decided to burn the script and focus on solving those problems with my foundation, GivePower. Big enough problems to inspire investors, extraordinary leaders, and donors to tackle these issues together. Problems that inspired many Salisbury gentlemen to go on GivePower treks to build sustainable solutions. You know the thing about burn the script moments, though? The more they occur, the more they push you outside of your comfort zone. The more they build on one another to create momentum, which leads me to my first burn the script pillar. Are you ready? It's growth. Most people hate changing their minds. That's the ego. But I love to change my mind because it means I've learned something valuable. A species must evolve if it hopes to survive and, more importantly, thrive. When the gazelle wakes up in the morning, it knows it must outrun the lion, otherwise it's going to be eaten. And when the lion wakes up in the morning, it knows it must outrun the gazelle, otherwise it's going to starve. So whether you're the lion or the gazelle, when the morning comes, you better start running. You must have an unwavering growth engine, especially in these early days of your life. So stockpile experiences, load up, take on challenges, and no matter where you're going, you better be committed to growing. Because happiness comes from continuous expansion, the evolution of your soul. The mind will rust, the body will rust, the spirit will rust without a commitment to growth. You have to prioritize curiosity because routine without expansion will lead to your decay. So as you embark on the next phase of learning, celebrate the grind in your mind. Celebrate the freedom to grow into the man you want to be rather than to seem. Growth doesn't happen when it's easy. It happens when your heart pounds, your stomach flips, you're not sure if you're ready, but you decide to go anyway. Your teachers have put their hearts and souls into you on countless occasions, unmeasurable hours, reviewing your work and providing their mentorship. They have delivered for you and your family so that you're prepared to deliver for you and your family. Time will magnify whatever you feed it. So ask yourself, are you brave enough to put down the TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, open a book and listen to the right podcast that might expand your perception? Are you hungry enough to put down the phone and fill your mind with what's necessary to leave your mark? Are you humble enough to realize the more you gain knowledge, the more you understand how much you don't know? Recognizing learning expands your perspective, making you realize knowledge is infinite, your understanding is always incomplete. So George, you ready to go for it, man? Ready to lead and learn at Georgetown University? Are you ready to lead and learn on and off the field at Cornell, Big Mike? Don't wait for leadership to fall in your lap, because with the right mindset, everyone's a leader. Are you all ready to be comfortable with being uncomfortable? Are you committed to making a difference not only in your world, but in our world? You don't need or want this tensionless life, this tensionless state. You want the striving and the struggle for something worthy, to develop your craft and share it to help others. And that leads me to my second burn the script pillar, contribution. Ask yourself, do you have a zest for the underdog? Do you have a heart for the needy? Are you willing to take on challenges that others have not been willing to take on to contribute to the greater good of humanity? There's no shortage of suffering out there. Living a life of contribution is a form of enlightened self-interest. Think about it. If the president of one of my companies gets hit by lightning, which one of the 10 people reporting to them takes over the next day? The answer is the person the other 9 respect enough and admire enough to happily work for. The one that has contributed to everyone else's success and not just their own. Because I'm here to tell you, if you want to work with the best, hire the best, stand alongside the best, you have to be the best, which means you have to be your best. And that takes a meaningful mission to keep you and your team going. I wish I had a nickel for every rich guy that told me he'd give it all up to have real meaning in his life. But they're scared. They don't want to burn the script. It takes bravery to break out of the golden handcuffs. The monopolies will fight you. The masses will question your motives. The status quo doesn't like innovators. But innovators with heart, innovators with purpose, with vision, make history. Especially innovators that know their internal compass is more important than their external validation. So will you be the man who shrinks in the face of it, or the one who walks straight into the fire and burns the script? And that leads me to my last and final burn the script pillar, love. Now that you recognize the power of being driven by growth and contribution, it's time for the most important driver of all, love. Because no matter what you accomplish in life, it's who you share it with that matters the most. Graduates, humor me for a minute. One more time, I want you to stand up. Just stand up with me. Now take a look around the room. Look at the people that put you here. Do you understand the level of sacrifices that they've made, their commitments to provide for you? Think about it. Remove any negative charges and see the love that they have for you, the respect and belief that they have in you, the separation that was necessary for your growth. Are you a better man? Reflect on the first day here. Are you more educated? Are you operating from a higher frequency? I want you to express that silent love from deep in your soul, that compassion and empathy for what it means to be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your friend. Look around the room. These are the people that gave you this gift. That tension in your chest right now, that lump in your throat. So on the count of 3, we're going to clap for them. We're going to cheer for them. We're going to let the love fly for the people that you care about the most. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, feel it. Take it in, Mom. Take it in, Dad. Take it in, Grandma. Grandpa. Your grandson, your son, your brother, he's all grown up and he's ready to go for it. Gentlemen, please have a seat. Now that is love. You cannot buy love or respect, you can only earn it. And with your graduation, you've earned it today. You've earned the respect of your loved ones. These are the people that are going to be there for you in the darkest of the night. When adversity hits and hate arrives on your doorstep, these are the people that you can count on. They're not just showing up for you here today, they're going to be showing up for you for the rest of their lives. Now, parents, grandparents, friends, brothers, sisters, let's return the favor. Stand up with me. Everybody stand up. Thank you. I want you to look at your son, your grandson, your brother, your nephew, your friend. Let it be quiet. Let it be still. Let it be stoic. I want you to look into his eyes and show him just how much respect and admiration you have for the sacrifices he's made to be sitting here today. It wasn't easy, and maybe adversity at times was so high you both questioned whether or not this day would ever come. Or maybe reality is just catching up with the inevitable. Either way, what matters now is your belief in this man's ability to burn the script and live a fulfilled life. So on the count of 3, I want to hear you clap for him. I want to hear you scream for him. I want the love to fly for him. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Feel it, gentlemen. Soak it in. Awesome. Soak it in. Yeah. So good. Love it. Recognize the moment when the moment arrives. Okay, please have a seat. You feel that unwavering commitment, that raw, deep, genuine emotion that your families have for you? This is the magic. This is the power of growth and contribution and love. When you came here, you were a bunch of islands, and now you're a united ocean. So put your arms around the guy sitting right next to you. Yeah. Do you feel that wave of energy that transitions between 100+ men on your graduation day? Reflect on the grind in the classroom, the day in and day out, countless hours of homework, the cold winters, all the big laughs after all the big wins, and all the tears from the devastating losses. Drop in and connect with that I'm ready to take on the world energy. Feel the excitement. Feel what it's like to be a Salisbury gentleman for life. You guys will depart in a few minutes to embark on your next adventure. Many of you may never see each other ever again, but right now, in this moment, your brotherhood and bond is your foundation. So give it up for yourselves. I mean, come on. Give it up for your collective accomplishments. You deserve it. I mean, it's a big day. It's a big day. And also, let's give it up for all your teachers that have committed their careers to you. So good. And I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for making my dreams come true. This is another burn the script moment for me. My son went to Camp Keewaydin, and now he's graduating with a gentleman's education from one of the finest boarding schools in the country, founded in 1901. This was a dream of an 8th grade boy from Creve Coeur, Missouri, and that dream has been achieved. To have a son that learned to be versus to seem to be. And I want to give you a hug because I love you. Aunt Becky and Uncle Bill gave me a lens for what was possible. And you cannot achieve it until you can conceive it. So don't just live life to reduce risk. Live life to reduce regret. And never forget, by believing in yourself and being driven by growth and contribution and love, you'll have the confidence to meet the unforeseen challenges ahead. No matter the time, no matter the place, no matter the situation, dream big and then dream bigger. Because the ability to dream is a strength. And your confidence on where you're going in life matters for yourselves and the greater good of humanity. And when you catch that spark, when that moment comes, may you all be bold enough and brave enough to burn the script. Thank you and congratulations.